Emergency 911 Center. The state of Georgia also pledged ambulances from 4 separate agencies that are in our city. Our neighbors in Burke and Columbia County has offered the ability to have a mutual aid agreement that will cover our borders for 5 miles inside from the Burke County border, from the Columbia County border. So I can't be more pleased as your mayor to say that Augusta is safe. We have ambulance service. We have providers that are here to help us, and I would gladly entertain any questions you guys may have.
Mayor, this came at a time where, obviously there's been impact in the world of Augusta, but also we have people from all over the world living in Augusta as we are, among the masses. So talk to us a little bit about, what people might have felt like, or how can you assure them at a time when they got that information?
Yeah, that's great. I was concerned by that too, because as you know, our population grows almost daily with the tournament by as much as 70,000 individuals. We're fortunate that the leadership at the Masters tournament, they have adequate ambulance service, they have a contracted provider, so we weren't so much concerned about them, but we were concerned about the individuals once they were outside of their boundaries. So we put together a plan on behalf of the city. Interim Administrator Dowse was wonderful in assisting, as well as our leadership from the fire chief to our 911 director. We were up late last night and up early this morning, and I made a comment that the cavalry was coming. I said it. 6 o'clock this morning, I saw the cavalry. I was just on a stage for the mayor's master's reception. I never thought it would be joy to my ears to hear ambulances, but ambulances are moving, so we're safe. So it's going to be a lot of unknowns this week, but there's one known you should know. To our citizens, you're safe, we have adequate service, and we're looking forward to growing our position on it. Central is here to help us. This is a big week in Augusta. This is our greatest week that we get an opportunity to show off our city. So I'm proud that the leadership from this county, in collaboration with the commission and our leaders throughout our departments, have stepped up to the plate to provide us a service that we can be proud of.
As it relates to Masters Week, and we know that the population of this city probably doubles or triples during this week, we knew at least several days ago that Gold Cross was severely understaffed. Was it ever on your radar that this might be an issue?
It's been something that's been on our mind. It's something that we've discussed, but fortunately, we kind of anticipated, and we were having plans in the event that Gold Cross were not able to service us. We realize our population does grow, but we're fortunate to have Central that's on board. They've pledged since day one to be a partner, that they would be ready and able to come in at a moment's notice, and they stepped up to the plate, and they were here this morning.
Let's talk about Burke and Columbia counties, and they're potentially going to be able to help out. Are those served by Gold Cross?
I don't know about Burke County, but Columbia County is. I talked to not only Columbia County Chairman Doug Duncan, but also talked to their city administrator, our county administrator, Scott Johnson, and they assured me that they would help wherever they could. And that was a relief. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't think we're going to need it. As I understand now, Central may have as many as 9 ambulances and three QRVs in our city. So that hopefully is a mutual aid agreement that we will not need. And I'm proud to say that.
Lastly, for me, talk about that leadership from the county, just being able to come together and make that pivot so quickly. This all the time.
That was an amazing effort, and that I got a call last evening around 6 o'clock from our administrator informing me that Gold Cross had made the decision to terminate their services at 8 a.m. We immediately got on the phone. My first concern was, I can tell you, I'm gonna share it with you. We have a lot of tourists in town, and our hotel rates are almost out of the stratosphere. So I said, if we have to bring people in, my primary concern is how do we house them? So I reached out to our community partners, not only at Fort Gordon, but through the Chamber of Commerce, through our destination Augusta, just to see where inventory was. So in the event that we needed to house people, we had a plan. I got quick responses from them. We're fortunate that through the city, we have space available in our fire stations. We also have, that's been made readily available, is May Park, a recreation park, that is used as an evacuation center that's already set up for emergency purposes with cots and showers and water. But as mayor, I felt horrible having anyone to sleep in a gym. So I'm glad to say that our fire stations have more than adequate space to house our responders that are here to help us get through this week.
How did the move from the
I don't know. I can't get into the specifics of that, but I did have a conversation with Mr. Vince Brockton at the Gold Cross. He expressed some of his challenges, and he apologized. And he said that it was in the best interest that to make sure that our citizens are protected. He took action to ensure that we could put a transition plan in place, and we're able to do that on such short notice. And I can't thank Central EMS for making that happen. In addition to our county interim administrator, our fire chief Birding, our 911 director, Mr. Dunlap. The Department of Public Health has representatives that are on site in Augusta, and it's just been a collaborative effort among all of our departments and at the state level.
We know that the city has been in negotiations with this company over the last few days. We didn't expect this, but they have risen to the occasion, it seems. How does this affect those conversations?
Those conversations will continue and go on, but the most important aspect of this agreement is that we have to ensure safety of our residents. So that's what I'm committed to right now. I think we'll come to contractual terms. I believe that. And it's our intent to do that. But right now, we have to ensure the safety not only of our citizens, but of our guests and those patrons that are here visiting the city.
Is there a contract drafted yet?
I think there is a contract drafted, and one has been presented. As a member of the commission, as a mayor, I don't know what those details are, and we pledge not to want to know. But I've been told on Tuesday, next Tuesday, after Masters Week, we should be presented with a contract to where, as a body, we can start delving into the conversation about how we can finalize this process.
Will there be any penalty for the company that backed out about 3 weeks early?
I don't know. That would be a question for the attorney, and that's something that we haven't discussed at this point.
Some of the members of this team have told me that response times are already improving. How are your response times looking specifically in South Augusta, but across Richmond County? Do you know?
Well, I don't know, but I know there have been challenges. I don't know specifics regarding the response times, but if I've gotten complaints on any other subject or issue, it's been on the ambulance service. There have been challenges there, and you know it. I've said before, I believe our body as a commission has failed the public in that we have not paid our previous provider enough to provide adequate service. So I'm excited about the week after Masters to talk about how we can have a real substantive conversation about how we can provide the service that our constituents deserve in Augusta, Richmond County.
With the emergency procurement that took place recently and that software potentially not being up and running for a while, how is communication going? Do you have a plan for that, especially with multiple agencies pitching in? Seems
That's
like
a great
lot.
question. So as part of my 6 a.m. muster and my late night virtual calls, so what we're doing is, you're right, the communication software is not up and running. But what we are doing, we are dispatching calls from our 911 emergency response center, and we're using handheld radios to make sure that we dispatch the ambulances for Central EMS. And I can tell you, I think it's working. I'm certain it's working. Within the last hour, I've seen 4 ambulances moving. So obviously they're responding to calls within our region. Keep in mind, a lot of the staff members that are on board with Central are Augustans, and that they know our community, they know our roads, they know our neighborhoods. So I'm proud to say that there is some local knowledge that's on board with this effort to make sure that we're fulfilling our obligation to the citizens.
And what about, typically there are ambulances on the Masters, correct? So what is that situation?
The Augusta National and the Masters Tournament has a separate agreement for an emergency services provider on their site. So that does not impact the city of Augusta and our effort with Central EMS in no way. Thank you so much. Now I'm gonna bring Mr. Coker up.
I've been in the EMS industry now for over 50 years. And I want to say that I've never seen a more dedicated mayor in my life. One that will be with us up till 11:30 last night and then back up for muster. And I know he was there before 6. He said at 6 he was there before 6. And he's dedicated to have the citizens of his community be protected and have ambulance service in case they have emergencies. He's certainly got the interest of constituents of Augusta and Richmond County on his heart and in his mind. And I'm grateful to work with him and his team. Ms. Dowse, County Administrator, Chief Burton, Fire Chief, and Daniel, the EMS director, is certainly been extremely helpful as a team to make this happen, number one. Number two, I would like to congratulate my team that we've been working with. They've risen to the occasion, both the management staff, but most especially all those workers. We have people that are called techs, and what the techs do are make all the equipment on the ambulance and all the supplies available and working. The ambulances were sitting in the bay getting ready to start on May the 1st, not ready. Those people readied the vehicles and had them. Our maintenance staff was working. Our EMTs and paramedics readily said, yes, I will come in. Everybody was working, and they had a departure time of 3 a.m. to be here for a 6 a.m. muster. I'm so proud to be a part of a team that can do something like this in the middle of what is chaos and a potential catastrophe, and for them to pull it off the way that they did. I'm just proud to be just a part of the team.
You said that you guys have service all the Atlanta, Macon area, all that way. What does it mean to come, 2 hours to Augusta to be a part of, like you said, a great team here in Augusta? We just try to make sure that the citizens and the visitors have safety.
Yes, well, we're familiar with I-20, and we run that frequently. We also have operations in Statesboro, Savannah, Covington, and Coweta County, Georgia. So we're used to having to go some ways to get to our station. And so travel, yes, we're medical, but we're transportation. So the transportation part is not new to us. And so logistically, we work that out without a lot of time.
We're talking about handheld radios and flip-up information for your dispatch team. Is this going to be an efficient service for us right now, and how does it change moving forward once you're set up and prepared to be taking over the zone rather than kind of a very quick shuffle?
So let me say this. Number one, the citizens have ambulance service today. When they call 911, the ambulance responds. When they need help, the ambulance comes, right? Now, if we're going to get down into the technology of exactly how it works, well, that's going to improve as we go day by day, week by week. Also, the number of ambulances, the number of EMTs and paramedics will also continually improve as we go forward. Is it somewhat of a challenge right now? Yes, ma'am. However, if we can get that radio call out from the 911 center and over a handheld and get the ambulance to the person, that's what matters. And that's what we're doing. So it works fine. We'll improve it as we go forward.
Where are you guys set up right now? Are you kind of coverage all over the place? Are you in a central location?
Chief Burton had set up a plan for where he wanted the ambulances placed in his fire stations. He made availability, he made the rooms ready, bunk rooms ready, and got everything ready to where he could make it happen, and he did. So we strategically placed the ambulances out across the city in the locations that he thought was most important. Now, he also, while our team worked through the night, Chief Burton's team worked through the night, and as I was talking to them earlier today, they have 2 to 3 ambulances that they put up as well, just like we did, through the night, and, they're responding, and they put those into the 911 ambulance rotation system. So that is key, as well as the mayor had mentioned, your surrounding counties that had said, hey, we will help Augusta in their time of need. So, this is all of these people have come together to make it to where your people have ambulance service.
Thank you.
Well, could we say very little sleep? Could I say very little sleep for all of our team and all of the county's team? But that's what it took. Everybody getting behind the wagon and pushing the wagon forward. And so the people were happy to do it. They wanted to do it, and they wanted to be here and wanted to make this happen. So you know what? when they want to do that, that makes it easier for my part.
Anything else you want to add that we may have not touched on?
I say that we were ready this morning at 8 o'clock, rolling. Yes, I think your response times are better now than they have been in quite some time. I think you have more ambulances now, and we're just getting started, than you will have. I think as far as those who challenge us to say, oh, well, what are we going to do now about working through the contract? We're never changed. We're the same that we've been with that. We will work on the contract. We will make the contract. We will meet a contract for the city. And, you know, we might have a few terms that we need to work on. Okay, we'll work through those. We'll come to resolution, and we're going to make this work. Everybody's going to be happy when we get 2 months down the road, which is all of this happened so quickly, and we wouldn't be here had the previous ambulance service not turned their 911 zone certificate in, and then called out and said, well, instead of having a 60 to 90 day period where we have a transition, they said, well, we're only going to do it in 30 days. And then you get into the 30 days and they say, well, we just can't do it. And I appreciate that, and I understand from them to where they say, well, we hired many employees. Yes, we hired some employees, but not that many. A lot of ours came from within our own operations, a lot from other areas surrounding the Augusta, Richmond County area. And so that was a real bind that we were in, but we came through. Thank you. All right. Any other questions? Thank y'all very much for coming. I appreciate it.